concert in Pigeon Inlet a few years ago to celebrate the 27th anniversary of Newfoundland's voting to go into Confederation. And the strange thing about it was, half the people didn't go to hear the songs or music. They went to see if Pete Briggs' mouth would move when we all sang "Oh Canada" at the end.
We stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
There we go. I saw his lips move, bro.
No, you didn't.
I'm telling you,
No,
I saw his
you
lips move. You saw Pete Briggs' lips move, didn't you?
Not a sound of them, sir, not through the whole of old Canada.
You sure?
Sure, I was standing right beside him.
You saw Pete Briggs' lips move when he was singing "Oh Canada," didn't you?
Not a biver.
It's not likely Pete knows the words to "Oh Canada, Uncle Finn," since half the people in the whole country don't. Maybe that's why his lips didn't move, not because he hates the song and won't sing it.
I don't know if he hates it or don't know it, but all I know is he didn't sing it in there tonight.
Fine pair now to tree you is. Well, brother, if I find somebody that saw his lips move, I want that back.
Don't worry, my son, you're not going to find anybody.
Sleevey, straw.
You see, Pete Briggs was the only one left in Pigeon Inlet who was against being a Canadian.
Daddy.
The rest of the old anti-confederates had given that foolishness up years before. But Pete still maintained he was born a Newfoundlander and that every man should bide as he was born.
Daddy.
And he said he'd be a traitor if he ever sang that foreign song, "Oh Canada," in place of the Ode to Newfoundland. We almost had him talked out of that nonsense when the racket over old John Cabot started and set Pete off again.
Dad.
It all began a few days after the concert when his young one, Tina, was doing her homework.
Dad, who discovered Newfoundland?
John Cabot, child. You think you know that by now? You're in grade 5, aren't you?
I know it was John Cabot.
Well, then what are you waking up your father for if you know it, Tina? It was in 1497. Or was it 1492? I'm always getting them mixed up. It was in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. No, it was in 1497, John Cabot discovered Newfoundland.
That's what I put on my test today. But the teacher marked it wrong.
What do you mean the teacher marked it wrong?
Here. See for yourself. It's marked wrong.
Is that new teacher you got up to the schoolhouse replacing Mr. Grandy a Canadian by any chance?
I don't know. Anyway, we're all Canadians now, aren't we?
Never mind what we are now. It's what we were that's important to me. That crowd up in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick been trying to claim for years John Cabot laying it up there first. Even got statues put up to him. But we knows better. Got no history themselves to speak of, so they got to go robbing ours. Imagine. Trying to put doubts in the minds of innocent youngsters about a simple fact of history. Contradicting what they've been taught at home. Teaching disrespect for their parents. And that shouldn't be allowed, and there's only one way to stop it.
How's that?
Somebody should go up to that schoolhouse tomorrow and bang that teacher right in the mouth.
Oh, Dad.
I means it. Someone should go up there and give that Canadian a good one right in the nose.
So, let's all have a hand for the new school teacher.
Look, why don't you shave that dirty thing off? You can't even eat in public without making a show of yourself. What's the new teacher going to think of you when she comes at all?
There's people looking at us. I'm not a 2-year-old.
Well, you're acting like one over that mustache. I tell you, it's soon going to come down to it. Either that goes or I do. Pete Briggs. What a surprise to see you up to welcome the new teacher. Now, there's a fine-looking man. Doesn't have to prove he is one by wearing a mustache. Pete, Can you talk him into shaving that dirty thing off?
Let him bide, Sue. Sure, there's only two things in this world a man can do that a woman can't. That's grow a mustache and smoke a pipe proper. And there's no man should have to give up the right side of it. If he's a man at all, that is.
Ah, you make me sick going on about your rights. What about women's rights? What about my rights not to be brushing up against that dirty thing in the middle of the night?
I'm going to stand up for my rights, Mrs. Bartle, as Pete says, and that's final.
Oh, I'll find a way to make you shave that off, mister. Just you wait and see. You men might have your rights, but we women got the patience and brains to outlast your pride and foolishness. Pete, have a cup of tea?
No thanks, Suze. I got no time for tea. I got my own rights to kick up a row over today. The rights of every Newfoundlander to the truth. Where's that new teacher, anyway?
Eli, come over here a minute and bring the guest of honor with you.
So the first thing you're going to do when you meet the new teacher is complain, is it, Pete?
No, the second thing I'm going to do is complain. I think the first thing that new teacher needs is a good smack in the mouth.
Smacking them out. Who's getting voted around here? Not you, Lloyd and Sue, still arguing over that mustache.
Nah, boy, I'm quiet as an old dog today.
And looking like one, too.
Oh, Pete. I'd like you to meet the new school teacher. All the way from Moncton. Miss Rita Hanlon. Rita, meet Pete Briggs. A staunch Newfoundlander, a fisherman, and widower.
He's Tina Briggs' father in your grade 5 class and doing a marvelous job of bringing her up proper. All by himself since his wife died.
I'm trying to, Suze.
So, what's this I overheard about someone or other supposed to get a smack in the mouth? Is that some local ritual that I might have to endure as a newcomer to Newfoundland?
Oh, no, Miss Hanlon. Nothing violent. All we meant is a smack on the mouth. A little welcoming kiss. Here, I'll show you.
You'll show her nothing. Besides, that mustache probably will turn the poor child's stomach.
Oh, I rather like mustaches on men, Mrs. Bartle. It gives them character, strength.
Oh, don't tell him that, Miss Hanlon.
It was Pete Briggs talking about smacks in the mouth, I bet, Miss Hanlon, if I know me onions.
Yes, well, Miss Hanlon, you see, I thought you were a man.
Good heavens.
No, I mean, nobody told me you were a girl.
Well, I am. Very definitely.
Yes, I can see that now.
So, I've offended you in some way, Mr. Briggs.
You have?
Well, you came in here with a face like a thundercloud, and you wouldn't have a cup of tea. Now, speak up.
Well, who was it discovered Newfoundland?
Why, John Cabot, wasn't it? June 24th, 1497.
I always thought so. But according to you, that's wrong.
Wrong?
Wrong, that's not right.
Well, I don't know if this is the time or the place to go into it, Mr. Briggs, but... Well, there are some people who theorize that he might have landed in New Brunswick. Or perhaps Nova Scotia.
Some people. You mean Canadians?
In case nobody has told you, Miss Hanlon, Pete is the only one in Pigeon Inlet who don't admit to being a Canadian.
Yet.
Yet.
I was born a Newfoundlander, and it's my belief everyone should bide as he was born.
Well, I admire your principles, Mr. Briggs, if not your logic.
You do?
You should be careful talking about how you was born, Pete, because I can mind the night when it happened. You was born a Newfoundlander, all right, but you was wonderful scrawny. And you should be some thankful you didn't bite like that. Sure, you was only 6 pounds.
There's nothing funny about twisting the truth, Jethro. Now, either John Cabot discovered us first or he didn't.
Look, why don't we all go and discover Jemima's angel food kit? She baked it today specially for you, Miss Hanlon. And forget about John Cabot.
You're really serious about this thing, aren't you? Well, perhaps I can explain myself, Mr. Briggs.
Pete.
Pete.
Miss Hanlon, you came over to taste my angel food cake. I made this specially for you. I'll be disappointed if you don't taste it.
Well, first, Mrs. Grimes, I want to show Mr. Briggs Pete something.
Have a bit of angel food cake, Jethro.
No, thanks.
Now, according to recent documents found in the archives in Spain, Mr. Briggs, some historians believe that John Cabot sailed south of the Grand Banks, here, made a landfall at Cape Breton, and stopped at Newfoundland on the way back.
I don't care what they found. It don't make sense. The man was almost 2 months at sea in a little wooden vessel. He'd have to be a fool not to stop in the first place he struck and come ashore for fresh food and water.
Well, perhaps he didn't know it was there.
That don't make sense either, and it's not what I was taught in school.
Well, if he was stupid enough to sail past 42,000 square miles of land, Pete, and not even know it was there, he couldn't have been a very good sailor, and the mainlanders is welcome to him. I say forget about it, and have a piece of Jemima's cake. Here.
You know, if that crowd up in Canada wants John Cabot, maybe they'll give us a lump sum for him like they did when they bought the Newfoundland Railway. What's he worth now? Like 3 million, I suppose?
4.
You crowd got no pride in your country. That's half the reason you voted to give it away. Well, I'm not willing to sell, trade, or have stole any of it. We haven't got much now to take our place in the history books of the world, but if they takes away John Cabot on us, we'll have nothing.
I wasn't trying to take anything away, Mr. Briggs. I was just trying to get the children to think for themselves and not always accept everything everybody tells them. Even history is gospel.
You were brought here to teach what's in the history books, ma'am. Not go letting our youngsters make up their own. And if you plans to keep it up, we'll have to put a stop to it.
You ready for your cake now, Miss Hanlon? Pete?
I'm awfully sorry, Mr. Briggs. I didn't mean to.
Come on, Pete. Hang on a minute, boy.
Here, Jemima, I'll take it.
Now look at that. Do you see what I mean about mustaches? Half the food that man eats is wasted down. Here.
Oh, watch it, will you?
You got yourself in a fine mess now, haven't you?
Yes, I guess I have.
What?
Daddy,
What is it, my dear? What are you doing down here?
what is Britain's oldest colony?
Newfoundland, my dear. Sir Humphrey Gilbert claimed her for Britain 15 something or other.
That's what I had down, August 5th, 1583. See, it's marked wrong.
But sure everyone knows Newfoundland is Britain's oldest colony.
That's not what Miss Hanlon says. She even failed me this time on that very question.
All right, that does it. Time to fight fire with fire. Come on, up to the house. Or better still, bullbird soup. That teacher got to go.
And fight fire with fire is what Pete Briggs did all right. He got up a petition asking to have that teacher kicked out of Pigeon Inlet and John Cabot reinstated.
Sign her up first now, Finn.
And he had no trouble getting people to sign it either, since he promised everyone who would a bowl or two of homemade bullbird soup. And as everyone knows, a true Newfoundlander will do just about anything for a bowl of bullbird soup. When you can get it, that is.
All right, folks, sign up that petition Tina got there now and then sit in and enjoy your bullbird soup.
Oh, my God, Pete, just the smell of it alone is going to drive me into the fits.
Here I am. Where's the soup? I could smell it down by Gillard's Point.
Sign the petition first, brother, or you gets none.
Oh, Pete, do I have to? You're being shocking hard on poor Miss Hanlon.
No signature, no soup, Eli. Just a simple choice.
Oh, Lord, sure, that's not a choice at all. You got everyone in the harbour here, it looks like, Pete. How are you, Uncle Finn?
I'm in heaven, sir, I'm in heaven. This is good, Finn. Is it good? My son, 'tis life-giving. That's what it is, life-giving. Pass us up middle loaf there, will I?
Oh, the smell. The flavor. Oh, Pete.
Where's mine? I didn't get mine yet.
No, Tina. None for Mr. Bartle.
What do you mean?
Just what I said.
You're going to let him have his drop of soup, Suze.
No, I'm not. Put it back in the pot, Tina, child.
Why can't I have any soup?
Because you'll waste most of it down that foolish mustache. And bullbird soup is too good, tasteful, and precious to be wasted. Isn't that right, Pete?
There's too many after it to be dribbling any of it away, Lige.
You said I had my rights as a man to grow this mustache. She's trying to take them away.
If he can use bullbird soup to nail the new teacher and save John Cabot, I can use it to get you to shave off the mustache. Besides, I got 10 extra names for Pete for his petition. That guarantees me a second helping. There'll be none left then for you and your bushy mustache.
Look, I signed the petition. I got me rights to me soup.
There's a razor in Pete's bedroom. Go and shave it off.
Look, let's all have a meeting and settle it so we can enjoy our bullbird soup. Make the cook the chairman.
Why not? Let's put it to a vote. But remember, Eli, if you and Uncle Finn is looking for seconds, there's not that much soup left in the pot.
You're not?
I got me rights to me bulbur soup. Whether I waste or not is my business.
If the soup is disappearing, Lige, your rights is doing likewise.
Somebody make a motion quick, will you? And said, look, I'm ready for some more.
I move that he be given no bullbird soup to waste down a foolish mustache, seeing that there's hardly enough left for seconds for all hands.
Look, there's plenty to go around. You all had some already, and there's more in the pot, ain't there, Pete?
The meeting stands adjourned while the cook checks the pot.
Have a gander.
Tis the decision of this chair that there's enough soup left for a nice helping for Lige Bartle, but not enough left for seconds all around after that.
Is there enough for seconds for the remaining 3 consumers if Lige and his mustache don't have any?
No, not for all 3.
Then I inform the meeting that I waive my rights to a second helping in favor of Eli and Uncle Finn Pryor having one.
The chair ruled that there is enough left to go around for the...
Question, ready for the vote?
Make sure I got this straight. You wants me to vote on whether Lige should shave his mustache off or whether I should have a second bowl of bullbird soup.
That's right, Uncle Finn.
Sorry, Lige.
Eli? Mustache suits you, Lige.
There you are, stubborn. Now, eat your potted meat.
Well, Pete Briggs got all the signatures he needed on his John Cabot petition by the end of the week. And he showed up at the next parents' meeting looking for Miss Hanlon. Jethro Noddy said it was clearly an illegal petition, since it was obtained under false pretenses. Bribery with bullbird soup. Nevertheless, Pete had his signatures, and Lige still had his mustache. And everybody was waiting to see how things would turn out for the oldest colony and John Cabot.
Teacher supposed to be here today?
Why don't you forget that old petition business, Pete, and have a cup of tea? You know, she's a sweet little thing, and she got more than half a mind for you if you give her a chance.
Look, I didn't learn too much when I was in school, but 2 things I did learn was John Cabot discovered Newfoundland, and we were Britain's oldest colony. And if them 2 things are wrong, that means that I'm a complete water-all, and that's not easy for a man to swallow.
Here she is, Pete. Well, just as well to get this over with so we can go on and enjoy the meeting.
Well, is there something wrong again, Mr. Briggs?
Yes. Now you're trying to tell my child that we're not Britain's oldest colony.
Well, it is the first overseas territory claimed by Great Britain. But it didn't become a colony until much later. 1855.
Well, the following undersigned citizens of Pigeon Inlet says it was, and that John Cabot discovered it, too. And we want you to change your mind about what's in our history books or go someplace else with your heresy.
Oh, Pete.
I'm sorry, Suze, but these is hard times, and hard deeds must be done.
So you want me to reject facts and plausible theory or leave my post, is that it?
That's right, yes.
I see your name on it, Mrs. Bartle. And Mr. Bartle's. Eli's. Even yours, Mr. Pryor. Do you believe that I should accept his ultimatum? All of you? Because if you do, I will.
No, Miss Hanlon, I don't.
Me either. No, miss, not me.
Or me.
But you all signed it.
Well, it's a long story, miss.
Well, perhaps I won't have to do either one. I really hate acting the teacher on my time off, Mr. Briggs. But the reason I introduced the children to that idea about John Cabot is that we've just been given incontestable proof that whether he did or didn't discover Newfoundland, he wasn't the first one to do it.
He was so.
I beg your pardon, but the famous Viking settlement here at Lanza Meadows has just been recognized by the United Nations.
I passed there a couple of times on the coastal boat.
Which means, Mr. Briggs, that you don't even need John Cabot, because the Norsemen discovered Newfoundland 500 years before him.
Is that in the history books?
Well, it will be. By a process called carbon dating, they can prove that the Vikings were there. The book's out next year should have it.
So we can give John Cabot back to the Cape Bretoners after all.
I say you're welcome to him.
What's the celebration?
Jemima, girl, we just got rid of John Cabot.
John Cabot? What for? What did he do?
Well, we don't need him anymore, Mrs. Grimes. He's redundant.
Dear me, I always thought he was Italian. Anybody want the last piece of angel food cake?
Give it to me, Jemima. I didn't have any bulgur soup, so just will have some cake.
Look at that man.
Be
A mess
careful,
all
be
over his
careful.
mustache again.
What? Let me see that.
Artificial mustache. You shaved yours off, buddy. You gave up your rights after all.
Lies, shame on you, brother, letting the women push you around like that. After all, you were saying, too.
Shame on your lies.
It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all, boys.
I might as well tell you the truth, Uncle Finn. I can't see him disgraced altogether. Pete gave me a few bullbirds for getting those 10 extra names for his petition. And I made a pot of bullbird soup. And every day for 2 weeks I put a bowl in front of him, but I wouldn't let him eat it till he shaved off his mustache.
I couldn't stand it any longer. I had to give in. So I sent to St. John's for one of these. Even your closest friends won't know, it said. And by God, they didn't. What could you do? He all knows the power of bullbird soup.
Yes, I know what you mean. Yes.
You mean all of this went on over me and John Cabot?
All over you and John, girl.
Well, Pete, Mr. Briggs,
Pete'll do.
the man that led the Vikings to Newfoundland was Leif Erikson. If you were willing to accept him as the man who discovered it, instead of John Cabot, I think I might ask your permission to tear up this petition.
Well, are you sure you didn't end up in Cape Breton, too?
Not a chance.
Let her rip then, as long as Newfoundland was first.
Oh, it certainly was this time, so good riddance to bad feelings.
Here, give me that. Give me that. Garbage is garbage, and so is foolish pride.
I tell you what, in honor of our newfound friends and Newfoundland, why don't we all join in and sing a stirring rendition of the national anthem to end the meeting?
I bet you don't even know the words to the Ode to Newfoundland.
No, I don't, but the national anthem is O Canada, isn't it? All right, attention, everybody. The meeting is over. I want to thank you all for your help. Now, why don't we all join in and sing the national anthem to end it officially?
Well, Leif Erikson or not, it was pretty plain Pete Briggs wasn't ready to go all the way yet with being a Canadian. We all watched his lips during the singing of O Canada, but there still wasn't a biver in him. So Jethro Noddy won another $5.
Glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free, and stand on guard, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, glorious.
But Pete seemed to hit it off with that school teacher. And being a Canadian, if she plays her cards right, she might make one out of Pete too. One of these days.